So super excited about this next part. We're going to introduce you to some of our winter project leads. So on the left, you're seeing a screenshot from Zoom that includes me and Rima, but then the rest of the lovely faces you see are our winter project leads in the Bay Area, Dallas, and New York. And then on the right, you see a screenshot of the logos from the projects that we're taking on. So yeah, so I'm going to actually have Max and Keith unmute, and both their videos are on, but you can just wave at everyone so they know who you are. And thank you both for being here to chat with us. Can each of you start by introducing yourself and describe your YCore project? Let's start with you, Max.
Thank you so much. Happy to share. Can everyone hear me? Thumbs up.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Just to give you a bit of background, my name is Max, and I'm really excited to be leading the project with the Child Poverty Action Lab, or CPAL. During the day, I'm a Teach for America Core member, which is fancy for being a 5th grade teacher. And then at night, I will be leading this project alongside Sarah, who's also here as well. Sarah can wave too with CPAL. So she'll be one of the points of contact. We're really excited because with CPAL, there's 2 main objectives for our project, or 2 really big questions we're looking to answer. Number 1, how can we increase benefits for families across the DFW area? A lot of families might get one benefit relating to like rental assistance, or there's a variety of different benefits a family could have. And our goal is to make sure that each family and each child, as a result, is able to live in an environment that would allow them to thrive. And as a 5th grade teacher, this is something I see and interact with every day, but trying to maximize the amount of benefits each family can receive can really be a turning point in terms of poverty. And so after we've sort of isolated those core drivers of how to improve this benefit outreach, we're looking to design a tool or a dashboard, something that CPAL can actually use and bring to life with the services that it offers, ultimately to help families and empower them. And Sarah, if there's anything I'm missing or you'd like to add, I'm happy to have you supplement as well.
Yeah, no, Max, I mean, I think you described it perfectly, but I'm really delighted to be here to represent the Child Poverty Action Lab here located in Dallas. And as as Max has described, I mean, our mission, our North Star is to try and impact child poverty in our community, to try to reduce it by 50% over the next 20 years. 1 in 3 children in our community actually live in poverty, which is completely unacceptable. And so this benefits delivery initiative is really to figure out how to put more money into the pockets of our hardworking low-income families in our community. And these are benefits, these are dollars that have already been appropriated by our Congress, and who has recognized that there are many families in situations that need these additional work supports. So what Max is designing is really to help us figure out why there is so much money being left on the table by families, to figure out what are these barriers, what are these hurdles, what are the things that are preventing people from really finding some of the means and finding the finances that can actually help lift them out of poverty. So we are very excited about it and extremely excited to be partnering with YCore. What an amazing group, and I appreciate being able to be here tonight to learn more about your project. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Sarah, for being here, and thanks, Max. Keith, do you want to go next?
Yeah, so hi, I'm Keith. So I will be working with Big Brother, Big Sister of New York City. They are a branch of the big federation, Big Brother, Big Sister federation that has organizations across the US. So this organization is focused on kind of building and supporting mentoring relationships for inner city kids, but also to focus on how to maximize their future potential. They have mentoring programs for high school kids, but also college kids to help them prepare to enter the job market and to actually have a direct sense of direction how they can achieve and fulfill their dreams and their career goals before they even step into the job market. So I truly believe that mission and that goal. Not unfortunately, I wanted to work more closely, but what they need right now, the most crucial part of their need right now is to help them kind of revamp their staffing process. So they have different career paths within their organization for their staff members, but they don't have a systemic structure that will help guide new staff hires through their career and what they will help them identify what they want to do and what to learn within the system. So we will be helping them develop some a sort of core competencies, a more clearly structured career path within their right now three different career paths in three different branches of the organization so that the staff member knows exactly what trainings to take, what areas of competency to work on and acquire, so they can move further within the organization. And as an HR professional myself, I believe that this is very important to allow the organization to perform in a much more efficient way, hence further helping the kids because they have more resources and manpower to be released.
Great. Thank you so much, Keith. So question for both of you, and also I encourage all of you to chat any questions you have for Keith and Max. What has the experience been like for you being part of a remote program, living in a different city from each other and the staff organizers? And this is kind of a question especially for folks here who are not in the Bay Area. Either of you can go first.
Sure, that's a great question. I think people are naturally skeptical about remote work, especially after the first 2 years. And having taught all online the first year, now all in person next year, I can personally attest to the fact that being in person really improves a lot of the relationships and a lot of those interactions that really was looking forward to and want to have. And I think one thing that's been unique about YCore is they've empowered us to learn what we need to using the remote network, but they've also got us excited about when we lead our projects, having the chance to also have site visits, have interactions, things where we have like a hybrid sort of approach to our problem solving. And I think through the hybrid approach, we can get the best out of everyone. And Keith can add on too.
I don't know how to follow that, but I can just say to everyone who will be working remotely with YCore, I think Soraya and Sayana, you asked about potential problems. So when I first started, I was Rima can attest to this. I kept asking, what if I don't get a project? What if I don't find teammates? Right? I always think about the worst case scenario, but even with this kind of remote 3-hour difference, they've been always very supportive and always quick to help. So don't worry about running into problems. The team's always there. And I think for me, I'm personally used to dealing with the 12-hour time zone difference with my family in China. So 3 is okay. But I think we're all getting used to working remotely through the pandemic. So I think it's just important to focus on the efficiency right now that, we can just work like this without even seeing each other and just get the best out of the projects.
Perfect. Thank you. Anybody want to unmute themselves and ask a question out loud to Keith and Max? I have a few more questions, but I'm going to pause for the rest of you.
Max, so I'm assuming the project that you're leading is more like hybrid as well?
Yeah, great question. And Sarah can also touch on that too. how I envision the next few months is definitely a combination of in-person and remote. I think there's certain work that lends itself to more remote, but one thing I want to prioritize, especially here in Dallas, is as at least on like a bi-weekly, at worst like a monthly basis, doing something where we have a collaborative space that we can work together. So maybe that could be at CPAL. I'm also a graduate student at SMU in Dallas, so I have access to a lot of those resources as well. So I consider myself an extrovert, and I think that I think I will go out of my way to have opportunities where people are collaborating in person safely every so often, or as often as is reasonable. I hope that's helpful. And Sarah can also add anything that might be helpful about CPAL. I 100% intend to do a visit if that's okay.
Absolutely. No, we as soon as you're ready. I also think it's really important for this work, as important as, and again, a lot of it obviously can be done remotely, and especially, technology development. There's so much of that work that lends itself to that scenario. But I think especially when your work is ultimately going to be client facing, that it's really important to have the opportunities to connect with those people ultimately that your project will be serving. And so, I hope as things improve in our public health situation, that we're able to also offer some of those opportunities. I think it can really positively impact and importantly impact the work certainly that Max is planning to do. So.
Thank you so much. Great. And then I had one more question for Max and Keith. So for people who are interested either in becoming a project lead or a team member or fellow at YCore, what's one piece of advice you would give them?
I think I already gave my advice to Soraya is during the scoping process. I think I was happy with a short list of potential partners that I found. And, I found organizations that I'm interested in education, in gender issues and all that. But I went through a panicking period of time because one, it was end of the year, so all the organizations are very busy. But different organizations have different kind of busy seasons all year, so be careful with that. Pay attention to that, but also reach out to as many as possible. And one, give yourself more option, but two, also give yourself more chances of having organizations reply to you.
Awesome. And just want to make sure it's a piece of advice that I would give, or I want to make sure I answer it correctly.
Yeah, correct. Incoming fellows and project leads. Mm-hmm.
I think one piece of advice that I was told from a former YCore fellow was really try as much as you can to get a lot out of the sessions. The only YCore will lead a few sessions every like 2 or 3 weeks or so. And those spaces, even whether it's a breakout room or however you can collaborate, I've gained a very different perspective just from hearing other people's stories in those kind of spaces. And so I was kind of pessimistic at first as a remote teacher, putting kids into breakout rooms and thinking like, oh, is this going to work? But very different in a YCore setting. And so I was very pleasantly shocked with some of the conversations that I've been able to have and what I've gained from those instructional sessions. And so I think my piece of advice would be to definitely embrace those and go in with an open mind, because there's a lot to gain from them.
Thank you, both of you. And actually, Max, on that note, you helped me segue to the final part of this session, which is to chat and connect and get into breakout rooms, actually. And so